Hello everybody. Not being funny here. It's actually quite a joy not to be doing something which is related to Chris Watts and that case for a change. We do other things on another channel. I just wanted to put this one on because basically if you looked at the word healthy, it's heal thy. And if we just thought about some things, about what we're eating and so forth, this is a hangout where people have changed their eating, their thinking. So I'm just adding this hangout and hopefully it might inspire some other people to think differently about what's going into their body. That's the point of this hangout. And just to add, on Unscrambled, I do all the talking. But this side, the people talk, so I'm actually a lot quieter because the people are talking about things that they want to talk about. Anyway, that's what this hangout's about, to help everybody. And this one, you can do yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching. Alright, it's happening now, I think. Alright, it's happening now. Ooh, it had failed. It's going now. Ooh, ooh. Anyway, hello everybody. We are back. We are back here today with Josh X. Hello, Josh. Where's Josh gone?
Oh no! He's
Hello, how are
there.
you
He's
all?
there. I heard him.
Glad to be back.
There it is. We have Archer. Patricia's with us. Patricia.
Hello, everyone.
And two new icons. We have John and we have Nikki. So Essence and it never, has it happened?
It never happened. Yes.
So hello guys.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, hey.
Yes. Hello, Sun and Moon family. Pleasure to be here.
Actually, this makes a hangout. Where do you come from exactly? I better not say American if you're Canadian. Are you American, Canadian? American.
Yeah, American from the
You
US.
the other way round. There's like one UK and the whole hangout's got Americans, but you're outnumbered today.
That's all right.
And actually, the men are outnumbered today.
They will be, yeah, especially in a minute.
Yeah,
So how is everybody
definitely.
doing today? Are we all high and vibrational?
We are.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good. So I'll firstly start by saying, since the last hangouts we did with the Sun and Moon group, Karen, these two beautiful beings reached out to me. And now they're new members of the X family. They've taken control of their own virtues, their temples, their body, their diet, their mind, and have blossomed into beautiful beings. And this is one of the reasons why we're here today, just to express and show people what just changing the things we eat can do for the mind, the body, and the soul. So I don't know if we can start on that sort of direction. So, Brother John,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for that great introduction as well.
Hey.
So, how has it been, and how long has your journey been on the food?
So my journey started, well, I got in contact with you through the Sun and Moon channel. Found so much interest in what was being shared on the videos, the hangouts, the live hangouts that you guys did. So I reached out to Karen. She directed me to you, started contacting through email. Then, as we know, we grown to, call each other almost every day. So that's how we got in contact. So my journey started February 9th. I was vegan about a year and a half. But I was doing it completely wrong. I thought I was doing it right, based on what was being published out there. but I did notice I lost some weight, but I didn't feel that great. I wasn't losing weight, anything like that. And then you guided me in the right direction. You shared the gnosis, everything that you've learned. And today's date, I've probably lost a little bit over 50 pounds with very minimal working out, if any. And I feel great. So much mental clarity. My body feels great. We've healed my grandmother of her cancer within a span of 90 plus days. 82 years old, and now no issues on her blood work at all. No high cholesterol, no high blood pressure, nothing. And she's never felt better. She's
And
told us so.
how old is she, John?
She's 82 years old.
Wow.
How old is your 82?
That's
So we've
amazing.
reversed an 82-year-old's cancer within 3 months, and she's feeling better than ever. So that's somebody there with a bit of life experience behind her. So thank
Right.
you for sharing that, John.
Wow.
Your ability, would you say your mental
Yes.
clarity is increased exponential?
Yeah, I used to always well, one, I've changed. I think the most important thing is to really change where you're getting your information from. And once we start to find out that a lot of what's out there is all false, that's kind of the first step, right? And that's how you start going to alternative media and things like that. And then for me, with changing my diet, I mean, my mental clarity, I have just the ability to really see things for what they are. There's that cognitive isn't there. It's just all around has changed. I feel like a completely different person than I was just, a few months ago. Completely different.
How long did you say it took for you to sort of feel the changes?
Um, I'd
The big
say, I
changes.
mean, the big changes, I would say maybe a month and a half in. It was really like, I'd reach out to you and say, "Hey, I'm starting to feel this way. Am I supposed to?" You're like, "Yeah, this is just part of, the change." I'll have just basic conversations with people, and it was almost like I'm not even paying attention too much to what's being said because the feelings are so strong during the conversation. Um, Kind of really tough to put in words, but that's kind of my best way to sum that up.
So I would say it as when you eat this way, live magnetic foods, you acquire empathy, but real empathy. And empathy being the electromagnetic pathway between you and another being. Uh, Most of us are desensitized and aren't even aware that these feelings are capable. Hence the word capable. It's a cap able. You have capped and capped abilities. Um, and once you start eating this way, opening up the photons and the DNA within you, you start getting these supernatural abilities. And these are all within our being, all within our electromagnetic being that we all have and we're all capable of doing. But we need to gain control of our temple first, and then make actions, which is karma, through the virtues. And these things will pour in as gifts in abundance from the true nature of your being. So would you say that you've experienced these things on a first-hand level within just a matter of months?
Yes, 100%,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And Sister Nikki,
Yes.
could you start off the things that you wish to share about your journey so far?
Of course. Oh gosh, I'm not really sure where to start. So, from teenage years, I've had like really low energy, and getting depressed all the time. Didn't really know the reasons why. Would just find myself not being able to get out of bed, going for afternoon naps all the time, and still feeling tired. I had like a really bad hair problem on my face as well, which was really quite hard being a female as well. I had skin rashes, and the most important thing for me was I've recently started in the last couple of years. I've wanted to have my own child, and nothing was happening at all. And I later discovered I had a diagnosis of polycystic ovary syndrome, which basically means that there's like loads of cysts on my ovaries. And the doctors just wanted to give me medication. And at this point, I just found Josh, so there's no way I'm taking the medication.
Mhm. Good work.
Yes.
Good work. So, how have you changed your lifestyle and how does it make you feel? And is there any improvement? And how long has it been going on for, this change of
Um,
lifestyle?
yeah, so it's probably met Josh about 9, 10 weeks ago now, maybe. He
Uh-huh.
put me on protocol straight away. So that included lots of juicing, alive, raw foods, went straight into that. And I'd say within a matter of 2 weeks, I was feeling I was feeling so different. I was a little bit concerned at first because I thought that the weight wasn't coming off as quickly as I'd hoped it would. But within the third or fourth week, it was dropping off. Like, and I'm talking like 2.5 stone just dropped off of me from, yeah, it was crazy. My rash also cleared up. I don't have as much hair anymore. My energy levels are absolutely through the roof. I'm finding myself wanting to be outside, sort of like in nature more. Yeah, it's just crazy.
So would you be able to touch on the cycles, the moon cycles, and how they've changed for you, or
Oh yes, of course, that's a massive improvement. So yeah, so for the first time in a really long time, I got a cycle,
how
which
long's really
was
long, would you say?
so it's I've had really irregular periods for, well, cycles for since my teenage years, so from about 14, 15. So
Uh-huh.
sometimes I'd get a cycle and then it would disappear for 3 or 4 months. And then I'd get it at a random date again. So it was totally off balance. So I'd say within I think it was the third or fourth week, I'd got my cycle back. And then this past month, just gone in June, it came on the exact same day as what it did in May. So it just goes to prove everything's balancing. It's all going. It's all on track now. So yeah, it's. I couldn't be happier with the way it's going right now. And I'm ovulating as well, which is great, which is obviously what you need to have a baby. So, and it's something that wasn't happening before. So yeah, I'm ovulating.
Oh,
Yay.
Yay!
Wonderful, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And
And
it's all thanks to Josh, of course, man.
how
Oh, hello.
It's all right, you're okay. We're here.
Oh, what's happened?
Um,
it's
I think
just
Josh.
chuttering. We'll let it catch up.
Oh.
Josh, do you want to say who else has joined the hangout?
We have Michelle X, my wonderful partner. I don't know if she's available to say hi right now because she looks after our wonderful, wonderful son. But if
Mia,
she is,
Oh, hi,
please say
Michelle.
hi.
yay!
Hey.
I just heard little man make some noise, so he might not be here. She might not be online right now, but I'm sure when she is, we'll get her to say hi. But she
Oh.
is here. She is the magnetic Taurus there, the red shift, blue shift, plane of inertia. One special woman there. She is one special enlightened being, and it's such
Aw.
a pleasure to have her as my partner in this journey, man. But
Oh.
also, it's a pleasure to have you all on this journey as well, and just welcoming you to the new X family, the nameless family, the family of God. Um, we're on our own journey now, and we're looking to get somewhere in this world that we can grow all year round together, and start a food forest, and then somewhere that we can harness and practice our energies to become fully fledged human beings and make the best out of this experience we've been given. So this is the journey going forward with our special family that we're creating slowly. Um, but is there anything you'd like to
Yeah,
ask
and
Karen to
helping
these
people then,
wonderful
Josh, as
beings?
well. You've obviously been helping people. These two people here have been helped.
Non-stop. I've had 3 people in the last 2 days come on board again. So yeah, we're just constantly helping people this side. We've not stopped. So again, if anybody needs help and you're ill in any way, shape, or form, and you're willing to take control of yourself and you want some answers, then please just email us. There'll be a link in the description that I will give Karen, and she can put it there for you guys to email. So we're always willing to help anybody who wants help in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, lovely, Josh.
But is there anything you'd like to ask these two, Karen? Anything you're curious about? Anything you think people might be curious about?
Well, it's nice to meet new people. It's great to hear that their life is changing, and yeah, it's really nice to meet the people. So I've got a little bit of noise going on here. My daughter's
Mm.
here with her boyfriend.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, it's nice to know that John
I
knew all
just
about
I,
Sun and
I
Moon.
just like to express the fact that um, as soon as you do change your diet to the higher, vibrational foods, the more raw foods, it just awakens oneself to such an exponential level, and it really connects you to the earth around you. Um, you get more and more disconnected to the material world, or we call it the material plane. And as you progress in this journey through food, um, this is the most important thing you can do for yourself by changing the way you eat to then higher your consciousness, higher your perception, and then from then on, you're really in control of yourself, and it's just a matter of time before you choose what you want to do with your world. But gaining control of oneself through food will really master yourself, and allow for new thoughts, new abilities, and then obviously the clarity of thought comes through, and it really does make you separate yourself to the other beings around you to become supernatural, because the beings that are around us that eat the matrix food, they have a lot of photons and a lot of amino acid coding and a lot of DNA unactivated, just because the fact they're eating foods is not for consumption. um, it really is that simple and basic. So yeah, I'd really like people to just be aware that the things they put in their mouth does actually make their body. And if it's not bioavailable and it's not made from the ground, then your body can't do anything with it, and it will be put on your body as waste. And then this waste is just toxicity or acidity in the body, waiting for a expression of cancer or another disease, which is all candida, and can all be cured by food and just reversing the acidity in the body again. So yeah, it's just so important for everybody to understand and overstand that food is their creation of their physical avatar, and their physical avatar allows them to connect to higher planes. So one must be virtuous with food and take control of themselves and their food for a great life. And it doesn't take long for this change to happen, just a matter of weeks for people to start feeling different, seeing changes, and then that gives you the inspiration to carry on. Um, Brother John, would you say that the weight loss is incredible?
Um, it's beyond incredible. And I do want to share that, it wasn't an easy journey by any means. A little background on myself. I grew up in a household where my mom was a chef, and was always, every meal home cooked. I mean, amazing food. So the transition was difficult, very difficult. I even failed a few times while on this journey with Brother Josh, but those failures just showed me more how great of a blessing this was, because you feel the difference. So it's not easy, but the benefit that you receive from it's amazing.
So when you
And what
become
was the question?
sensitive to the foods that you were eating,
Hmm.
and the toxins started to get rid of, your body started to flush these toxins out.
Yeah.
What would your body feel like if you went back to the foods that contained chemicals or unnatural substances within the body? What would it feel like to you?
Oh, your body would let you know.
Mhm.
I don't want to get too descriptive with my meetings with the toilet, but it it lets you know when you're eating something that you're not supposed to. You feel it immediately. You will get tired. There was a time where I got really tempted again to eat one of these sandwiches that had those like tempeh bacon, and it was almost like a stomach flu for me. Um, Constantly having to go to the restroom, started to feel sick. Um, your body just lets you know. The way I could put it is, once you cleanse it, and you really start to use food as your medicine and to heal thyself, when you put something bad in there, your body will give you a response to let you know that you're not supposed to have this anymore.
Toxic poison, yeah? Would you say
Oh
that?
yeah, oh yeah. I went through, what was it, 3 days of constant toilet visits, and I wasn't peeing through the male organ.
The phallus.
That's not too descriptive, but yeah, it
And this was from
I think we get
this
with
was
that.
from a sandwich, yeah. So this sandwich contained a plant-based sandwich essentially, yeah, like
Wow.
a vegan
yeah, it was a vegan,
sandwich.
100% vegan. But it was the tempeh and the bread. Who knows what was in the bread? Might have been some yeast or processed sugars, things like that. But yeah, my body definitely rejected it. And it wasn't that, oh, you might have eaten a bad sandwich. No, I had the sandwich, my daughter had the sandwich, my partner had the sandwich, my mom had the sandwich, but I was the most pure, and I was the only one that got heavily affected.
Because you've been so sensitive now to, you know, unnatural foods, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So if
It
we can
makes sense,
imagine that since we've
doesn't it,
been,
really?
uh-huh, yeah. If you
Plastic food,
if you
slop
can
food.
imagine since, sorry, Karen, you can talk, mate.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a time delay. You're here, Josh, in the UK. I'll be quiet. You carry on, Josh.
No, I was just going to say that it, this is basically what's happened to the species here in the Western world. Um, since we've been birthed into this citizenship, into unaware, parents, the rented pairs, we've been given food through a matrix system of obviously reverse truth. So the food that we've been given since birth or very, very young is not bioavailable to the body. And the body grows and learns to accept these foods and to try to make use of them as toxins, as would a heroin addict. Their body gets used to heroin, and you shouldn't just pull them off heroin because it can have a real detrimental effect on the body. Um, it's the same thing with this food. Over many, many years, we've become desensitized to these foods. I don't know if people have memories of being young in chronic pain in the belly area on the toilet as young as like 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But over these times that we haven't been able to express to our parents what was going on because we weren't sentient enough to explain these things, we've been getting conditioned to accept these poisons in our body. And over time, we've been conditioned in our minds to think these are foods when the only thing that is food grows from the ground. And if it doesn't grow from the ground, it has an acidic response in the body called metabolic acidosis. And this is what depletes our minerals from our bones, which is basically where all of our storage is for our health. If our body needs to take a bit, it will take a bit from the bones and then restore it with these foods. But because we haven't been replenishing the minerals in the bones with high vibrational alive foods, it's just a matter of time until the depletion gets to such a point that the body is now really in disease and there's chronic disease at risk. Um, so really, again, all we need to do is this protocol that we share, and you can reverse things in 6 weeks from any disease. So yeah, it's basically that's what's happened to the whole of mankind in the Western world, a slow desensitization process. So, so Nikki, what would you say um, eating like this has done for your mental clarity and your spirit and your whole being and your essence? Would you say you've been uplifted, or how would you put it into words?
Definitely uplifted. I'm feeling obviously my energy levels through the roof. And now I think it's been over 2 months now, and it's got to the stage where I feel kind of excited all the time. And I didn't think that was normal until I ran it past Josh, but this is how we should be feeling. I'm excited for everything. I'm even excited to go for a walk now, to see my family, to spend time with them, to make my juices in the mornings, even to to wash the pesticides off of all my fruit and veg to juice. I even get excited to do that. It's yeah, crazy. My concentration levels are better than they ever have been. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Would you say that your light or your vibration has been shared with the beings around you? Have people soaked up any of your energy? Have they tried to make changes themselves? Have you managed to change people's, habits as well by just being the being that you're being?
Yep. So my parents and my brother, as well as my king, my partner, they're all on this journey with me. Although they're finding it a little bit hard. We were well up until the point of meeting Josh. My life took a whole 360-degree turn. I was eating meat. I was eating processed food. I was eating takeaways, drinking alcohol, eating dairy, and my family are kind of all on that same wavelength as well. So it's and obviously this has happened because I want to have a child. So I'm thankful to have that to keep me going, to push me through the hard days. But yeah, they've definitely tried to make changes. They juice now. They're trying to get their head around the raw plant-based eating. But yeah, it's been a bit more difficult for them. But yeah, they pick up on my energy. We're laughing more than ever now as well as a family, which is it's nice. It's good.
Would you ever go back to eating the way you used to?
Never in a million years, never. And even now, when I go into the supermarkets, when I do go in there, that is, I want to scream to people, don't buy it, don't eat it, don't do it.
Hmm.
Even people in the street that you see eating a bag of crisps or drinking a can of Coke, you want to tell them just to put it down.
Hmm.
But people, they're the majority. It's gonna take a lot for them to listen, even to people like Josh that can work his magic and work wonders. And it's just sad that the majority are like that, because they can
Yeah,
be helped, and we all can live like this together.
definitely. So would you say that state of your
Do you see that?
expression earlier where you said you just felt excited, would you say it was like bliss?
Yes, yeah,
Bliss.
just yeah, like a funny feeling in your belly, like when you're a kid and you go to a theme park and you get that
Uh-huh.
funny feeling like before you get on a roller coaster. It's like that, but like all the time. It's continuous.
Yeah. And would you say when you consume like an alive drink, so when you do your
Oh
juices
yeah,
now, you feel the instant rush of,
literally within a few sips or half a glass, literally, like especially the orange juices. They're my favorite.
and what do you put with the orange juice?
So I'll do like 15 oranges, and I'll put two lemons, two limes, and like a massive chunk of ginger in there. Oh, it
Uh-huh.
tastes amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And how long does it take you to make it?
I'd say 10, 15 minutes, about 10 minutes if you've got two people peeling the oranges. That's the tricky part, especially if you've got no nails like me, but it's all swings
Uh,
and roundabouts.
and would you say that this food or whatever you're consuming tastes a lot better than any food or anything you've had from a shop or a convenience store?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. You can see like in the early stages, I think it might have been in the third or fourth week, I had a little slip up. And I blame it on the sun. But the sun was out and it was the first bit of real sun that we had of the year. And I went to the pub and had a beer. I had a Peroni and a vegan pizza and some fries. And like Brother John, I had the same toilet problems, really excruciating stomach pain. Like I thought I was going to die. Like it was horrendous. Um, it was worse than any sort of cycle pains you can get as a woman. This was really bad. So that was, yeah, that was my last slip up, and that was, yeah, I wouldn't be able to go back to eating the way I did now. I realise now how bad it really was.
So you see now that would you say you've noticed that everything that you were eating was poisonous?
Oh yeah, 100%. especially the
Yeah.
meats and the dairies and the processed food, the sodas, a beer now and again. You know, it's so bad. And I actually didn't think that I ate that bad. I'd excuse it by thinking, oh, but my friend has two takeaways in a week, whereas I'll have one once a month. But no, it affects people in different ways, that sort of food. But yeah, I could never go back to eating that way, and that's why it pains me so much. And I need my family to get to grips with this, because I just need them to be on the same journey as me, you know, out of love and light and you know, respect. You know, they need to do this as well.
The only thing is, it's all in their own time, because will is one of the only laws in the universe that we, or the multiverse, should I say, that we can't change. So, in a sense, when it's our family, all we need to do is show them the way and be
Yeah.
that positive ray of light so they can mirror it themselves, because energy will attract energy. And if they're seeing this wonderful vibrational being, then it will naturally pull them to this through, inquisitiveness.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So, are they becoming more and more each day, or do you think they have gone in a bit too strong at the start and now they're pulling back and finding their feet until they progress slowly, or how's it been
Yeah,
for them?
I think that's what it is. My dad's a big guy, so he's all his life he's been overweight and had weight problems. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'm just plugging my phone in on charge. There we
So,
go. Yeah, he's overweight. He likes the taste of meat and he likes the taste of dairy, and he loves cheese and bread. But he realizes now, especially after seeing the weight drop off me, and we had a very similar skin rash. Mine's disappeared. Now he's actually cut out dairy, and his rash is actually disappearing now. So
uh-huh.
it just goes to prove, if you do cut certain things out, you know, you can help yourself. You know,
And it
so
doesn't all have to be done at once, does it?
no, that's right. It doesn't. It's in stages. And I think maybe they felt a type of way because I was going full hog, then they needed to too. And I probably did put a little bit of pressure on them out of love, of course. But I think that's maybe why they failed.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're still doing the juicing. So they do the morning juice and the orange juices. They also do those as well. And they're cutting out the dairy, so no cheese, and cutting back on the bread and no red meat anymore either.
Wow.
But yeah, they're doing. I'm very proud of them. Super
So,
duper.
and to be honest, in my experience, it's only a matter of time,
Yeah,
because the more they cut out, the more sensitive they become, and then the more awareness they have for the body and the mind, and they can feel what's going on inside. It's just a matter of time before they cut out all the unnatural things that the body doesn't want. And this is a natural process of growing. So it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
yeah, that's it. And they've got me here, and obviously Josh. We've all met Josh, and his beautiful family. And you know, any questions or anything like that, Josh is always on hand to help us, or any worries. So yeah, we're very thankful as a family to have him. Very
No,
thankful.
thank you very much. And as well, on this journey, if people take control of themselves, it really is just a natural process to this higher consciousness. And would you guys say, let's start with you, Nikki, has your life ambitions, in a sense, has it changed towards the goal of, what my goal is, and our goal is this as this awakened consciousness, to find these lands where we can exist, to remove ourselves from commerce, to find these trees that grow food for us and we don't have to actually do anything. Um, what would you
Yeah.
say your goal has changed, or?
100%. I mean, at the start of this journey, I was focused on, I want to have a child. And now it's become so much more than that. Now I know when my son or daughter gets here, I know how he or she is going to be raised, where they're going to be raised, how we're going to be living with in a family, you know, with like-minded people, so we can transcend together, grow our own fruits and vegetables, you know, no going to school, that sort of stuff. You know, they'll be learning how to work the land and things like that. So yeah, it's my life since meeting Josh has changed dramatically, for definitely for the better.
And brother John, what would you say on your side from the same angle?
Yeah, the my overview on life has just completely changed. I would say a lot for a lot of people as well. I feel we've been given this vision on how life should be, own a house and these cars, and you have your family and things. That's how things should be, but it's completely different. I was constantly in business. That's where my focus was. And now it's just completely changed to being with my family and getting on a journey like this, and really finding the real truth behind what this multiverse is supposed to be. It's just completely changed. Once you start to feel this way, it's just, you can't deny the truth anymore. Even when we failed at eating the right foods, we needed that to show us how bad the food really was.
Hmm.
So, yeah, for this journey, it's just changed. I want to be with, again, very similar to what Nikki has said, like-minded beings, people that want to be on this similar journey, that really want to make change, because it's not easy. So you need to be around. You need to have a family. You need that support. Just like when people go through drug addictions, they put them in these groups where they, it's support groups, because it's hard to get over it.
Good, good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Sister Michelle, are you on?
A lot of us don't realise how toxic things are, do they, Josh? For a start. But anyway, Isha.
Hey. Hello. Hey guys.
Hey,
Hello,
Michelle.
darling.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you
No.
loud and
Oh
clear.
yeah. Cool. You good?
We're all good. We're all good. How long have you been listening in for?
I have been listening, but I haven't been able to talk. So
Oh, little
little
man.
while, so it's all good. Love it.
So, Sister Michelle, wonderful woman. Um,
Oh.
how has this journey changed your world? How has your perception changed over the last few years? And would you like to share that? Or is it too loud to talk?
No, it's okay to talk, but I missed the question. Sorry, the
I
delay's
was
a little bit.
I was just saying we're just on the subject of food and how it's changed. Nikki's in particular, but how would you say this journey's completely changed? Would you say changing from an old standard westernized diet? I know that you've never really followed a Western diet because you've always been in control of what you've eaten. Um, but how would you say it changes the perception and the mental state and the mental clarity going through the processes of making cooked food to raw food to juicing? Do you have anything to say on that?
Oh yeah, completely changed. When I first met Josh, I had a lot of IBS and like chronic sinus problems. I still struggle with my sinuses now, but nothing like to holistic therapies and stuff like that. But all my problems with my digestive system and that just cleared up straight away, which was great. And most of my teenage adult life, and then just changing a few things out of the food to make it more healthy as we grew together in our partnership, made such a big difference to my life and how I felt, and just it uplifted me. And then what we've been doing as like a partnership now is just learning and growing spiritually. When we moved to Spain, it was a massive leap in consciousness for both of us, and we dealt with a lot of issues that were coming up from our past and stuff, and we dealt with that as a family, which was great because it gave us time to grow individually and together. And the journey through the food that we've made has been incredible. I mean, Josh has always been the cook or the food prep guy because I've been looking after a little one. So so much since he's been a little baby. So and Josh really enjoys that side. So we've been just experiencing like some really magical foods together, and it's been such a magical journey. And now we're raw, so fully raw and juicing every day, 3 to 4 times a day juicing, and eating 1 to 2 raw meals per day. And yeah, it's been great. Even though I'm breastfeeding, I still have massive amounts of energy, and um, I could probably feed another 3 babies with my milk still. And it's been fantastic. Yeah, they awesome. Just feel great from it, and loving the flavors, loving the taste, loving the colors. So to all the senses of the body, it's just fantastic. High vibrational food.
Thank
Way
you.
forward, guys.
Yeah. I didn't really hear you a lot of the time there. Could everybody else hear her? Or
Oh,
was it breaking up for her too?
Broke up a few times over here, Josh, but I could hear most of it.
I heard it okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's
Josh,
oh,
for
brilliant.
sorry,
people
guys.
listening in, for people listening in, like you were before when we've talked about like with cancers, fruits, people don't realise. Explain to people about the food. It's alive.
So, um, there's a saying, you are what you eat. And, most people eat things that are not alive. They're dead. They're non-vibrational. And if you look at your body as an electromagnetic, computer or generator, you must eat alive and vibrational things to become alive and vibrational. If you look at the story Pinocchio, um, he's a wooden boy, and this is a representation of us in our unconscious state. I don't know if you're aware, but he has to act virtuously. One, stop telling lies, stop smoking, stop doing these things to become a real boy. Um, and that's just an analogy of this, the true nature of this reality, and that's why there is a matrix here. So most people haven't had a feeling of what it is to become alive because the food they eat is either cooked, convenience, and processed. And this really, really does, without sounding condescending, this really does take away the nature of your being. And until we, flush these sins away, um, we're never really going to experience what it is like to be a fully fledged functioning human. Um, and yeah, so for one, people tend to be afraid that protein is going to be missing from their diet. Um, we are only conditioned by this word protein because protein is a word created by businesses, but it's a non-essential amino acid that your body makes from amino acids that you get from plants. But people think that they're getting protein from, say, meat or an animal. And I'd like to, trump that by saying, where does your animal get its protein from? And if you look at any animal that the Western civilizations, England and America eat, they only eat plants. Because if they didn't eat plants, there would be nothing inside that meat of any value at all. And it would cause death too rapidly. Um, but cows, for example, steak, they eat grass. So this grass is getting filtered through the muscle tissue of a cow after the digestive system. And then we eat this muscle tissue and then cook it. So in this sense, you're getting a second-hand bit of grass that's gone through another sentient being, and then you're eating the dead tissue of this being. And we're in a unaware state. Cook and for food about 8
Josh,
scale.
Josh,
And
can you just say
yes,
that last sentence again? It just went a bit dialogue-y. Just say that last sentence again. Sorry.
could you put me on the task because my mind's always far ahead before I got to catch up with my wording. What was I saying about the cow?
Yeah, you're basically saying it's second-hand
Oh,
protein
so the
anyway.
so yeah, so when you eat in the muscle tissue of any being or any animal out there, you're just getting filtered nutrients. So if a cow eats grass, people say grass-fed cows are the best. So we'll just put this one as an example. grass is getting filtered through the digestive system of that cow, then going into the muscle tissue, and then you eat that muscle tissue, but it's cooked. So again, this is a second-hand bit of grass, or the amino acid coding that is in the grass has then become the animal, and then now you're trying to write that coding into your body through another sentient being. And this sentient being has, thought processes and emotions, and these things cannot be cleared from your body for a very, very long time. When you eat these foods, they cause metabolic acidosis again, which I said earlier, and this has a detrimental effect on the body. So why wouldn't we just eat the food that the animal is consuming rather than eating the animal? And not to mention that this animal has a will to live, has a central nervous system, and it really is one of the biggest sins in this multiverse to eat another sentient being when you have choice of food around you. But again, this is the levels of consciousness here required, so the nature of the being will change due to his eating habits. Chickens, again, they eat grains, GMO grains, really to say it, and they're all injected with these hormones. Um, and this chicken's eating grain. So why would you then go and eat the flesh of an animal to get a second-hand grain to go into your body? It really doesn't make any sense.
Can I
And
say
if you weigh
something?
out, go on.
Sorry, I thought you were nearly finished. It's the psychology of that, like you just explained. The cow, we eat cows because we think we're getting something from them. If
Yeah,
that's the psychology, then really we should be eating vegans, shouldn't we? We should be cannibalizing vegans.
we should be. Yeah, you would definitely find a lot more nutrients inside a plant-based being, yeah, than you would with somebody that eats something else. And in that sense, yeah, that would be morbidly right or correct, definitely. But in this sense, there is a new wave of consciousness coming. You can feel it in the air. They're trying to also lead people through the matrix again towards veganism. Um, Again, people need to make their own decisions on life, because if they're getting it handed to them, it still means they're not in control of themselves. And 99.9999% of the food that's being advertised out there, I would say 100, but there might be the odd case that there's a family-owned business really trying. It's all toxic chemicals branded as plant-based, and they are not bioavailable, just as is multivitamins that people take to get their blood tests to show that they have these certain amount of minerals in the blood. Anything that's created by man, anything that has a process, any denatured food shows up in the bloodstream, but it's not bioavailable to the body and cannot be absorbed and does not serve purpose. It only causes metabolic acidosis within the body. So all these protein shakes, all of these multivitamins, all of these things serve no purpose apart apart to harm you and your physical body and your mind, because one hasn't taken control of his self yet or herself yet and acquired the knowledge they need to feed their self. A basic fundamental to life, if you were born free, would be know what and how to eat. And these things here are not even spoken about. So they're really up to us to find out and act through. So I don't know if that answered the question again that you asked me to, or if I've gone off on a tangent. Um,
That was
but yeah, so
perfectly put,
we,
Josh.
yeah, I'm
Because we
sure that
don't
we could.
think, do we? We just don't think.
No, we've been controlled through language, etymology, being one of the things that this wonderful gift given to me by, taking control of myself, eating of the nature and having my feet in soil, interacting with plants and natural things every single day. It gave me a semi supernatural ability, and information just pours in from the ether. And the more conscious you get and the higher you raise your vibration, the more the universal knowledge of all the ages will pour within. So language controls people. It controls the unconscious, and until you become conscious or aware of what language is and what language does, will be continued to be controlled through symbols, signs, and language. So another thing that you get with conscious acquiring through food is also higher perceptions, and and then the matrix really doesn't serve purpose for you anymore. Just like, you know, the police are there for people that need to be, you know, policied, and these policies are written by the politicians, and the government is only there to govern minds that aren't in a state to govern themselves. So this is all interlinked, and I will honestly tell you, it's all through food. And the two guests we got on tonight, I think, would you both really agree with me on this one?
100%.
Yeah, 100% for sure.
Can I say something? It sounds almost sad when we're talking, but you know, like I think I said this to Josh before. You know, when I was a kid, even if it was a small plot of land, but a lot of people had allotments, people were growing their own vegetables. It sounds like we're talking of a long time past ago that we did these things, but we're only talking of maybe 10, 15 years where we drastically now just go to the supermarket. It's sad, isn't it? You're talking about something that should have been here anyway, but now we're just plastic and, like you said, let's get a pill for that and a pill for that. Oh, right, that's okay then.
I actually really think it's
No.
quite bad. I think veganism has really been glamorized in the last few years as well. And it's actually scary because when vegans think they're doing the right things by animals and health reasons, but then you walk into the supermarkets, or, you know, they've got vegan sausage rolls now and vegan McDonald's and Burger King. And there's so much vegan junk food out there. It's just scary.
Remember, plastic is vegan,
Yeah.
and this is what it is. And what people don't realize is, if you're a part of this
Upset all the
system,
vegan people now, Josh.
I know, but all I'm doing is trying to guide people in the right sense, you know, because if you look on the back of these foods and you don't understand the words and they're not individual foods and you haven't prepared them yourself, I'm going to say, one, where does the water content come from? Two, if you understand Dr. Emoto's, you know, water and how emotional responses affect water, who's been dealing with the water content in the food for you? Where's the salt coming from? You see salt, is it Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, or is it the salt that scratches your arteries because it's 1/3 glass, 1/3 sand, and 1/3 salt? And this creates high blood pressure. Salt, but not natural salt, chemically made salt. And when you're in the matrix, the world of convenience and confectionery, there is basically a system in place that the waste that's being used around you, people think it gets dumped into the seas, but this is another business and another reality that is funded again by media. It actually goes back into the food. So this is where fluoride come from. Initially, it was aluminium smelting toxic waste, and then it became part of healthy eating and healthy teeth and healthy water. And just as that's happened, every single thing in a supermarket that isn't a whole food has chemical waste in it to slowly go through your kidneys and liver, because we've made the unvirtuous choice to go and eat convenience food because we're too busy in busyness to take time on ourselves and understand the true nature of this reality. But it's not something we should be, you know, cognitive about or get upset about. It's just something that we should ponder with and slowly make changes, because we're
Yeah,
only
a
here
lot
for.
of people, Josh, don't even realise that society's now made so that we don't think. It's when,
We
like,
just do.
it's John and Nikki, well, and you and Nisha, Patricia, we've all started to think. But through thinking, they've changed things. But society's so fast, you know, television, the whole thing, fast, fast, fast. People aren't
Hmm.
thinking.
That's the thing. And then when you
Not
get
only
your
thinking,
conscious
they have
thought,
to
go on,
ask the
John.
question, asking the question why. Nobody's asking why anymore. It's just, we've been told this, so we do this. We
Yeah.
have to take back that control and say, wait, this doesn't make sense. So we have to find out why. That's a big thing. That's what started for me. A lot of things just didn't make sense for me, and people didn't have answers. Oh, I was just told it was like this. It was just, you know, that's just how I was raised. No, we have to ask why. And now we're in an age where information is at our fingertips, so it's easier for us to find the answers.
Uh-huh. And also by getting that conscious state, you'll notice that research is is definitely something that people have got to be wary of, because everybody's a blogger these days and everybody's putting that information on there. But when you can eat like this, it really does change that discernment to logical thought processes. And would you say that the perception of disinformation is so much more easier to read, both of you?
Yes, it's simple.
Basic.
Yeah,
BASIC, basic.
yeah. I mean, with my condition, the polycystic ovaries, I spent hours and hours on Google trying to figure out before I met John, what I'm going to have to do to, have a child. And it was telling me to eat eggs, eat chicken, eat this, eat that. And oh, it couldn't be further from the truth. And that's actually what the doctors said as well, eggs and chicken
Yeah, it's
when you're trying to
incredible.
conceive. And it's so wrong.
And I,
Yeah, now
go on, John.
yeah, now you have these all over Instagram where people are just, scrolling all day. You have these Dr. Vegans and this and that telling you how to make vegan food, and it's not even the right way to do it.
It's not.
That's incredible. So what's your fundamental basis now, John? Would you say what to put in your mouth? What would you say you've come to sort of see this light as? What things should you be eating?
Just natural, high vibrational foods. Um,
Uh-huh.
these fruits are alive. You can test, I think it's copper and zinc. You could stick it into any fruit and test how much energy it outputs. It actually will give you a reading of energy that it's putting out. So the way I kind of see it is that energy that I'm making through that food is now coming back into my body. And that's why we have so much energy. I mean, I I could stay up all night. I'm just not tired.
Yeah, it's exactly the
Before,
same for me.
yeah, before I needed naps, and after I ate a meal, you start getting tired. That's
Yeah.
just no longer the case. That's out the window now.
How many hours on average do you sleep, John? Out of interest.
Well, we have a 6-month-year-old, so my partner, she'll, you know, make the milk. She'll put in the bottle. She breast pumps because she's had issues with the breastfeeding, with getting like cuts on the nipples. So right now she's exclusively pumping. So for me, I'll wake up every maybe 3-4 hours sometimes with the baby, and I'm
Oh,
not tired. Like I can get up and then start reading, or I'll shoot brother Josh a message because it's already like noontime where he's at, just to catch up, and then um, just go about my day from there. So I'd say I've had days where I'll just get, 5 hours of sleep and I'll have so much energy.
yeah, I'm exactly the same. I averaged on about 6 hours now, brother John, and it's amazing. Like I was sleeping so much before, and
Yeah.
I could have slept maybe 10, 11 hours at night, and then needed to sleep again in the afternoon, 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
I was just consistently tired. Um,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man.
How much weight
Yeah.
would you say you've lost as well, Nikki? I don't know if you said like a total weight loss, or how much
Yeah,
would you say?
so I started when I first met Josh, I was 16 stone, and I'm 12 and a half now, and it's been
Yeah.
just over 2 months or just around 2 months. So yeah, that's it's amazing, and I think it's going to drop down some more. I'm feeling lighter every day, every
You
single.
will be. And this is why we have a waste, and all of the toxins or the waste acquires around our waist. And yeah, once we flush all these toxins out our body, we will be the most hyper functioning, conscious, awoken being that one could ever imagine. And that bliss just keeps continuing. The heart rate, like it's just an incredible journey of self, and we really need to acquire this by gaining control of ourself and eating what we should be eating. Fundamental basics to anybody on a spiritual journey is food. Is key. Is key.
That's it,
And
and
go
yeah,
on.
sorry.
No, go on, Nikki, if
No,
you
I was
got
just
something
going
to
to
say.
say as well, obviously we go to the market and stuff like that, so that's really good. We go and get our apples and oranges and all that goodness from the Birmingham market. Some very,
Wholesale, yeah?
yeah, the wholesale market. Absolutely amazing. And my parents have just started growing their own fruits and veggies as well. So yeah, we've got it all going on at the moment. It's an endless supply.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
the want for
It's
these
music
things
to your ears, isn't it, Josh?
oh, it's amazing because the want for these things, they're just not there until you really connect with nature. And I
Yeah,
don't mean going out and standing with nature. I mean you just eat nature.
yeah. Eat alive.
Eat alive foods to become alive because, the Day of the Dead and the Walking Dead is not something in the future. It's
Yeah.
now.
That's it. And to anyone who's listening as well, at the beginning of this journey, I found it a little bit hard with money to do my juicing. It can work out pricey if you, especially if you're shopping at the supermarkets. But guys, it can be done, and especially if you have a wholesale that you can get to, it definitely it's doable for all of us. It's doable, and if you have any outside space as well, get growing, guys.
Yeah. And then if you haven't got the chance to do it this year,
Yeah,
please, do what you can. Even just getting a 25-kilo bag of potatoes, like we've said before, £10.
yeah,
And you can use these potatoes. They're natural. They're from the earth. They might not be the best foods, but you can have potatoes and, you can have cucumber and you can have any vegetables or any fruit that you like with it. And that's going to be 150 times better than it would be. But this will give you time to plan. And this will give you time to connect with beings and maybe possibly buy a field or rent an allotment for the next year. And, there's so many different stages of the deception here because even if we go into the shops and we think that we're getting, high quality food buying organic, still sprayed with an organically approved pesticide and is still only grown with three minerals. These minerals that that people eat, you have the possibility of eating 113 minerals. So when we're even eating from shops or commerce, there's still a deception there. But again, if you understand and have the eyes to see that you need to take control of yourself to get yourself to that level, you must grow the food yourself. And this is where your mind will expand and grow again when you're having the full minerals in the food, will allow more DNA to activate and more photons in your body to keep your processor processing at such a high rate that you really do seem superhuman to everybody around you. Again, then the journey gets more intense for you, and the needs are, would you say your needs are more, and then you'll really find yourself just needing to be around, food forests and waterfalls and lakes. Um, there's so many levels to this, but I think if we just keep it on this level, maybe again we'll talk about the higher levels of food, etc., on another chat. But
Yeah, we've been going for an hour, Josh. Would
yes,
you
it's
like,
nice.
we can go for a little bit longer, but do you want to round up? Is there any more you want to ask your lovely friends? Or
No, I think you guys, is there anything that you want to express to people that might be listening? How or what and what's changed? Just is there anything else you'd like to add? Just how it's made you guys feel, or the people around you, or your ability to, integrate with society? Have you become more separate and more aware of the nature of the game? Or is there anything you can express a little bit more? Anything you want to share, guys?
I think for me, I would just say start questioning things more, because that's going to be the first. It's like the first step to really getting onto this journey is question things that don't make sense, question things that you've been told that just doesn't sit well with you. And with the food, it's really the most important part of this journey is to really change what you're putting into your body, because as you change that, your overall well-being will change, and you'll really start to see things for what they are. You'll start to see people for who they are, and the journey in this realm just becomes a lot better. Um, and again, I thank Karen for hosting this, the channel, Brother Josh for all your help, all the gnosis that you've shared. Um, but yeah, that's what I want to share with those that are listening.
I'd say Brother John turned into a big sponge and was able to absorb, universal knowledge, this etymology, the law. Um, he's become a really all-rounded being since I've met him. He's always been a alternative seeker, but I've seen the growth through firsthand through many people, but Brother John has, I will say that you have got control of yourself in such a way that I'm proud that you reached out, and I'm glad to have you on this family now, man. And it's such a gift that you did reach out, and thank you for reaching out. And Sister Nikki, it's the same
Thank
with
you,
you.
brother.
You took control of yourself. You had a one or two mishaps. You felt that within the being, and you just carried on. And now you're a completely different being than when I first met you. And I'm proud to call you guys family, because this is what happens when you transmute yourself and you get onto these higher planes.
Thank you,
So
Josh.
is there anything you'd like to add, Nikki?
Yes, I'd just like to stress, if I hadn't have met Josh and his beautiful family and had his guidance through this whole thing, I probably wouldn't be where I am today, or be able to have a child in the near future as well. And to anyone that's thinking about doing this, I would seriously encourage you to, again, what Brother John said, to start questioning things and make the changes as small as they are in the beginning. Be brave and to push through on your bad days, because what you get at the end is like nothing else, and I promise it will be worth it.
That's lush. That's lovely.
Hey.
That's lovely. And I'd like to say with with Misha's my partner's sinuses, when she was 14, she had a tooth knocked out, and she went her obviously unaware mother took her to a dentist, and they put a root canal in. And there's a lot of issues with women, men with root canals. So if you've got them, I suggest getting them taken out. Um, but what's happened is where this root canal was pushed in, there's been a bacteria, you would just call it candida, and it feeds on the nerve endings. And this creates an inflammatory response within our body, and it blocks all the sinuses and these sort of things. Over the years, she's had so many things done to her nose, like, trying to chop away at the bone inside to create a bigger pathway. Um, and when we had this tooth removed, her sinuses cleared up straight away. They completely went, and then after 8 weeks, they came back. And what it is, there's a small bit of bacteria that's basically feeding on the nerve endings in there. Because she's been breastfeeding, the diet that we had, we didn't go extreme because we didn't want to affect the milk. And obviously, she wants to make sure that, through her own time, that she's increasing these things herself. But I will say, if anybody wants to look into Bill Hoxley, Dr. Bill Hoxley from the 60s, I think he used bicarbonate soda as a treatment and was reversing cancer by putting bicarb on the cancer. So if you have cervical cancer and you just douche bicarb, it will get rid of it. But also you got to understand that your body's still toxic, and you do need to go through a protocol to reverse the acidity within the body. So what we will do when she's ready is we're going to start doing bicarb injections into the gum. So this will then completely reverse what's happened. We do have the gnosis to do it, but again, it's putting these things into action, and we're not going to do these things till little man's off the boob. So if you notice a little bit of blocked nose there still, it still happens. But there are many levels of curing, like I said, with the full electric foods. But when someone's breastfeeding, it's entirely up to them and their choices what they do. So 100%, 100% of the time, we can reverse any disease or give you the guidance to reverse your own diseases. So please, just don't not believe, start believing, and just ask questions, and we're always here to help. So if anybody wants help, please just type in an email. And we're starting our own little sort of foundation, I would say, as a family. We just call it the X family for now. So if anybody's
United
X
as well.
X family united with the Sun and Moon group,
United.
but this journey is beginning here. So yeah, we have a new business venture. We call it like a CBD venture, Essence CBD. We'll put like a little link in the description as well. But we are, furthering our journey, helping people, and trying to reach out across seas as we have done with America. Anybody that wants to look in, investigate, please do, and just fire questions our way. So I'll leave it there for now. Is there anything
Oh,
else
it's an
you'd like to
absolute
add?
pleasure, Josh, and an honour to know you and all of you.
Ah, thank you very much.
Josh is a very lovely person, and yeah, we talk quite a bit. He's a lovely person. Patricia, is there anything you want to say? Is she still there, Patricia?
Yes,
She
I'm
is.
still here. I'm still here, Karen.
Hey,
Um,
Patricia.
I might need to get in touch with you, Josh, because I'm needing a bit of help at the minute.
No problem.
But I'm trying myself, but I just need that little bit of a push, I think, just to go
Yeah.
that extra mile.
I
So,
think, that is what people need. And ideally, we'd love to have a little foundation where we've got a nice piece of land, where we've got the fruit trees and we've got the ability to have people come to us and meet Brother John and Sister Nikki and me and Michelle and all these beings that we've changed, because the beings that we change, they tend to be volunteers and they want to be a part of this journey as well. So if we could have a place where we can, for example, we could bring you down for 6 weeks, you could have a totally different, experience. We can teach you knowledge, etymology, light.
Josh, you offered that. I've never heard you be coming. You're only like the size of a city or something. And I'll be going, yeah, let's go to Josh's.
And all we got to do then is acquire more land by the side of it uh, to be able to host these people. And again, when people are ready, this is the thing. Most people aren't ready, and when they are, we would give our life and soul just to help them. So if you're ready, you're welcome here, and we know what's going to happen to you. So when you feel it, you can share your journey with other people as well. And this is just a domino effect till we correct the pH balance for the whole world.
Yeah. Anyway, Patricia, anything else you want to say?
um, well, other than thank you for coming on and talking to us about your journeys, it's been fascinating. I love happy endings, and that's all I want to say. And that I love you all.
Oh.
Oh, we love you, Patricia. Does Misha want to say anything?
Hey guys.
Hello, my darling.
I'm here. I'm still here. Yeah, it's been really nice hearing from you all, and yeah, everything you think you probably know from the standard media and standard life is all in reverse or backwards, as we say. So yeah, definitely do your research and keep up with some of the chats that we'll be doing on Josh's channel and probably with the Sun and Moon United as well. I have had the pleasure to meet Nikki and her family, and they're absolutely lovely. And we were buzzing off of their vibrations as well, which was really nice. And we hope to see them again soon. They've done really well. And I speak to John's beautiful wife on occasion when we can both get some time because of the time differences. And we speak to and hear from John and his little children quite often as well, which is really nice. And I want to say well done to both of them because it is a difficult journey. It's not easy, and you guys are the ones that have to walk the walk. So you've taken on everything that we've helped you with, and you've ran with it, and we're just really proud of you and really proud to know you. And you've helped us as much as we've helped you as well. So it's great to know you guys, and want to say thanks to Karen because I know that you're spreading all of that, and Patricia, you guys have been on a lot, spreading all the love and light to everyone. And we love listening to different guests on your channels as well and different points of view. And it's
Oh,
nice to have a
thank
variety.
you.
Yeah, it's lovely to have a
We
variety
all
of
do our bit.
different.
We all do our bit
Yeah, it's
in our own
nice.
way, don't we? But that's very
Yeah,
nice of you to say.
yeah, it's really nice to hear. And I think a lot of people get a lot of positive. A lot of the people that have been writing on your channel and stuff have given a lot of positive feedback, and they get a lot of information from you guys, be it little snippets or deep conversations like you have with Josh and
Actually, I
people and
want to
such.
say we get all the information from you guys.
Oh no, but your hosting skills are great because you keep it on track, and it's nice to to have different people people on there speaking about different subjects along the same lines, but just as a different, you know, part of the group, and everyone can bring their own sort of specialities to the table, which is nice to hear as well. So thank you all. We love you all, and long may be our journey to love and light.
Well, we love you too. And
Ah,
Josh, could we do this again sometime soon?
Definitely. And I just thought it would be nice to cover health because it is one of the fundamental basics. But, you know, I'm going to start and set up my channel. There is something there with 163 subscribers on under Josh X, but I want to incorporate it with the family and bring on guests as well that we've helped, you know, because we've healed all diseases. So it'd be nice to get every single disease and people on to chat about them. But we will also be talking about etymology and syncretism, the occult side, mysticism, you know, maybe the higher spectrum of flat Earth, astrology, magnetism, vortex mathematics, and really the higher perceptions, gnosis, if you can put it that way, gnosis for the higher perception. And a lot of people won't believe the abilities that you will have, but yeah, we'll be presenting this on here and helping people reach those higher planes. So just look out for the channel because we're going to start activating it and putting out information on there.
I do feel better listening to this. Lovely, lovely, positive, really lovely people, spiritual, kind, caring people. Yes, on top of the rest. It's been
Lovely. And I'll give you one answer for that. There's no dead flesh in our diets.
yeah, gosh. It's been really nice to meet you as well, Nikki, and you, John. Hopefully you'll come back and we'll chat a bit more sometime soon. It's good evening from us, probably good afternoon for you, John, isn't it? But
Yes, it is.
thank you all very much for joining the hangout. And
Thank you. I've been honoured, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Likewise. Thank you, everyone.
it's been a
thanks,
pleasure.
guys.
It's been really great. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you all.